Hello.
Boom, boom, pow. Mine works well. Boom.
There we go. Mine's on.
Hi, guys.
It's all happening.
What's up?
Hi. How are you?
Oh my gosh.
Let me do the hacky move of give it up for yourselves for sticking around. Fuck
Yeah.
Let's get some energy in this bitch. Let's go.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
This is
doing
the
it.
closest I've gotten to a really good school, you know? It's just like, I went to a fucking party school, so this is like legit that I'm even here.
Hey, at least you have a degree.
Yeah, there we go.
Just kidding. I went to
So
the School of
true.
Hard Knocks. I have a question. Are you guys getting are you getting credit for being here right now? Are you serious? This is the most LA thing ever. They're like, oh, we had our podcast class in a bar and we call our teacher by his first name. Like, this is just the worst. Oh my God. Every one of my classes were in classrooms. This is bullshit.
Oh, dude, I wish I had a class like this. This is incredible. I would
I
take
know,
this every semester. I would try to graduate with just this class on my transcript.
I know, I'm jealous.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys are really fucking cream of the crop right now. This is
Yeah.
a nice time to be alive, children.
Boom. Should we tell them
Are
who
we
and
recording?
stuff?
I don't even
I'm not
know.
really sure, but if you guys have
We're
never,
recording?
if
We
you've
are?
never heard Self-Helpless, we're 3 type A comedians who dive into a different topic of self-help or self-improvement every episode, and we just talk about it very openly and talk about if we love it, if we think it's absolute bullshit,
Yeah.
and go from there.
Sometimes we're divided. Some of us think it's great, and others think we're out of our mind, and
Yeah.
it's lots of fun. Can you guys make some noise if you've listened to Self-Helpless at all?
Shut up!
Was it homework?
I think they get
'Cause
extra
that
credit for that
doesn't
shit.
count.
That is extra credit.
That's awesome. So you guys know what we do on the
Cool.
show a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, the thing we're going to talk about, like our main topic this episode, is going to be imposter syndrome. Have you guys heard about imposter syndrome a little bit? A little familiar? I feel like you just even saying that this is like the closest you've been to a nice school is imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah, I should not be here.
Yeah, you're having it right now. But we're going to kick it off with some of our segments. So we always start with a quotable. We do one of our favorite quotes.
We love a good quote, you guys.
We
A
sure
good
do.
quote really just gets us going.
We are some basic ass white girls.
So
Yes,
yeah,
up here.
absolutely.
Our text chain is just like screenshots from Instagram with quotes attributed to no one, and we're like, "Who unknown is fucking killing it."
Oh, so good. I found this one on an Instagram account.
Of course you did.
Called Change Your Perception. It's not accredited to anybody. It says, you often feel tired, not because you've done too much, but because you've done too little of what sparks a light in you. Oh, just came. That was
Flip
so
the table.
good. So good.
Can you read that one more time?
Yeah,
I just
let's
want to
let it
feel
sink
that.
in.
Feel it hard, you guys. Here we go. You often feel tired, not because you've done too much, but because you've done too little of what sparks a light in you. This speaks so true to me because if anybody has had a job they dislike or just been anywhere that they didn't like, I could sit at a desk job all day and come home exhausted and
Yes.
think, I didn't really do shit today. But I just mentally wasn't there. I wasn't excited about anything I was doing.
Yeah.
So I just feel tired and blah. And
I just got a little bit closer to death today.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
Exactly.
Just
I'm
a
just
little.
waiting around to die. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I feel in my life. It's like you feel so alive and so energized when you're doing something that you love and enjoy and that you're passionate about. You could be working on it for 16 straight hours and still feel great at the end of
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking good
That's a
shit.
great one.
That's a good one.
Do we want to do a treat yourself?
Oh, please
Yeah.
do. Who's
Okay.
gotta treat yourself?
I got to treat yourself. So, my treat yourself is that for the last 2 weeks, I've been washing my face with only honey. I don't know if anybody else has heard of this. I've heard of this for years. I thought it was complete horseshit. That people are like, oh, it's medicinal and it's like antibacterial and you'll just have glowing skin. And I'm like, this is only for like British Instagram models who are like born with dolphin skin on their face.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, well, I've had cystic acne since I was like 10 and giant pores. This will not work for me. But Delaney, on a recent episode.
I'm a real hippie bitch, you guys, so
Yeah.
I suggested it.
Yeah, Delaney made a garbage wash for her face. It literally had like old cucumber. Like, you know how like if you
For an exfoliant. I mean, it's good shit.
You're a raccoon. That's disgusting.
Smells like a sewer.
You're a possum. So anyway, I took the one part of your face wash, which was just honey.
Sure.
Because I've been meeting people who had glowing, beautiful skin, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Just wash your face with honey." So I've been doing it now for like 3 weeks. I swear to God, it's the best my skin has ever been. I have not had like a deep, actual like papa pimple. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just been like little things, and so I fucking highly recommend it. It's like $3 at Trader Joe's. It'll change your life.
I don't know. I still have not tried this. Has anyone tried the honey thing?
No.
Not one person? Okay, so no one here can verify. You all have
can
perfect
verify.
college skin anyway.
I know, look at them.
It'll all go away, all right? We're in a bar right now surrounded by black and white photos of people moments before their first DUI. I have not tried it because to me, honey seems like the main ingredient in cystic acne. I
know, right?
trust it. It just sounds like Instagram influencer bullshit.
I know.
And the fact that the two of the people that I trust more than anyone in the world have tried it, but like I still don't believe, so I'll have to do it. I've also bought a good amount of like expensive face wash, and I feel like I have to finish it.
I know.
Oh,
I did
totally.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm-
let that shit go to waste or give it away.
I know.
Sure.
I'm interested in the science of that, but
Absolutely.
I really do think give it a shot. If you're struggling with skin stuff, give honey a
And
shot.
I
It's
have a
worth it.
question though. A, do you think you'll ever go back to like real face wash, or you think you're gonna stay on the honey train?
If shit goes awry, I mean, if
Okay.
I start looking like fucking Pigpen from Charlie Brown and I just got dirt and sticky shit on my face.
Second thing, do you think your skin feels so good and looks so good because of the honey, or just because you're not putting chemicals on your face anymore?
I don't know.
Like if you were
right?
doing nothing, it might be good. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. What if you were just like putting a wet washcloth on it before bed and calling it a night, and
That's
I
maybe
don't
that does
know.
the same shit?
It's like the whole chicken and the egg thing. You know,
Right.
I think I like grew up too fast. I wanted to start using like those like oxy pads, and I think I fucked my skin up before it was even fucked up. And now I've just had to keep up with it, you know?
When you put the honey on your face, do you have to just wear like a tiny
little bib.
red T-shirt and no pants like Winnie the Pooh to make it work?
Just Pooh
She's
Bear.
in a red
Yeah.
shirt, right?
I know.
It's like Pooh Bear right now. Wouldn't it be so great if I was just fucking nude, just bare ass on the street?
That's what I picture. I mean, it's censored in my mind because
Yeah.
I respect you. But that's what I picture is just you kind of like reaching into a honey pot with no pants on. Just like, babe, it's working.
It is a fucking nightmare for like your home because you get sticky shit all over your counter. The honey residue runs down your arm.
Disgusting.
And so you'll get it off your face and your hands, but then you'll just like lean on a counter 30 minutes later and then you'll just be stuck.
And just
It's awful.
Kane has to live next to you after you
I
do all
know.
this.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He's a fucking nasty man. He's
This just sounds like the first step in becoming like, did you ever read that book, My Side of the Mountain? In
No.
school? No.
you're such an old lady. What
You know,
is that
I
even?
read it in
My
fifth grade.
Side of the
Who else
Mountain?
read My Side of the Mountain?
Okay.
Not one
Don't
person.
encourage
Wow.
that.
Who's
Okay,
hiding in
thank
the
you very
back,
much for
shamed.
being here. Extra credit, double credit. Sim winked at me, said it's fine.
Graduating
Follow up later.
early.
You are
Oh,
1,000
man.
years old. That
They
is.
read it in fifth grade. I'm
Two-
actually younger. It probably my generation. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, don't look for excuses.
I'm all alone.
I think you had a self-careless moment
I did.
this week, right?
I had a self-careless moment. So I moved yesterday and
Into my apartment building.
into her apartment building because I'm very codependent. and once I got there, I was like, oh, I have to get everything done today. Like I was like, everything's coming. Most people leave like, you know, boxes in their hallways for like, 3 months or something.
Right,
and they're just
yeah.
like, I'll just get that shit when I need it. And for me, it just felt like if I don't get this all done by midnight, I will die. Like I was up till like 3 a.m. with my just wonderful boyfriend who was just like painting shelves with me. He's just
Oh my
like, does this
God.
Good
seem
man
like we
button.
need to do it right now?
That
And I'm
is
just,
the sign of a psychopath, is that they painted the day they moved in. Who the fuck does that? Like, fucking
It's
take
a lot.
Take a nap.
I bought the paint. Not only had I bought the paint, I tracked the paint down like a week and a half ago
Oh
in
my
Vegas
God.
on the road.
Oh.
I got the sample color. Then I decided, fuck it. I'm just going to get the gallon. And then I didn't even know if we were allowed to paint. I was like, I have a vision and it's going to happen.
You picked the paint color before you went to like the store?
Yeah.
You like, wow.
No. I went to the store. There was a guy there, and I was just looking at swatches, and he goes, well, what do you need? And I said, everything. And I'm the type of person where, like, if you look like you know what you're doing, if you have good posture and you're like, you should get this, I'm like, sold. Yeah. Thank you very much. I would love that. What is it? A Prius from 2020? Great. When will that come in the mail? I just like totally trusted this dude, and he hooked me up with this color that is Bear's, BERH, not your honey thing. Bear's color of the year is Blueprint, and it worked out famously.
Oh my
no
Lord.
Regrets.
That is
and my
so
apartment's
funny.
painted now.
So you have everything done. You're done in one day.
Pretty much. I gotta hang some stuff. We did have some stuff delivered today, so it's almost finished. But like, you guys would come see it right now. They tried to see my apartment before we came here, and I was like,
Did not go
it's
well.
not finished. I only have one plant.
Oh my
God.
God.
I looked at it. I was like, oh, if you guys saw this, you'd be like, oh, it's done. But to me, I'm just like, there's so much more to do.
Jesus.
We have to wait 5 weeks before the paint is fully dried to hang paintings.
Oh my God. You know how like some people move in and they just like leave a box for 3 months?
Yeah.
I just did that between moves where like the last time I moved, I just didn't unpack certain boxes. And then I just moved again a month ago. I was like, I guess I'm just going to keep moving these boxes. I'll just fucking never unpack them. That's where these go.
That's efficient.
Yeah. You know, simple.
Should I get
Yeah,
into
what do you
mine?
have? Yeah,
Dude,
you
I
had
got
some stuff.
I got some shit. I have a defuck moment.
Yeah.
So before I became a really creepy minimalist and got rid of my car, I'm carless now. I tried to get a new title for my car because I thought, I'm going to sell it in like the right way and try to get as much money for it. But then I just gave it to some guy for $600 and he just took off. So that was way better, way more fun, way more convenient. So I sent in the mail, all my paperwork to the DMV with like $20 cash. And 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks maybe. I got the paperwork back, and they had taken the cash and said that they couldn't help me out.
What?
So they stole $20 from me, and then just basically said, "Fuck you. We don't know how to help you."
Wait,
What?
you sent cash in
I
the
know.
mail?
I should have
Delaney.
just sent a check of some kind, I'm sure, but it's all I had on me at the time, and I figured, let's just get this. No, somebody stole my $20 at the fucking DMV headquarters. DMV headquarters.
You know
Fuck
what?
you guys. So then I just gave my car to some dude that I found on Craigslist.
Oh my
For
gosh.
once, I don't feel bad for you because I don't know what year you think this is, but if you put fucking cash in an envelope and trust the people at the DMV with it, you deserve to lose that $20.
Wait, I have a
thought it
question.
would be better.
Did you fold the money in a
Yeah, I
piece of
hid it.
paper? Oh, okay.
I
All
hid
right.
the money. It went straight to corporate because they sent it back. So I'm like, somebody high up on the fucking food chain stole my money.
Yeah, someone had a nice lunch at Applebee's.
I know, son of a bitch. So that was my. Don't trust the DMV.
That's on you.
Just sell your car to Carlos. I have his phone number if you're interested.
He has $600 and a plucky attitude. He will take it off your hands.
Dude, no joke. My car was not even starting, and this guy was able to crawl in the back of my Prius and somehow find his secret button, and then just went flying out of my garage. Never seen him since.
A secret, but so he hotwired your car?
He hotwired my car somehow, but whatever. It was easy. I so far, no problems. I mean, it hasn't like turned up with like, my vehicle identification number, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's probably in some kind of, junkyard somewhere.
I've always loved that Delaney's been like, I'm a great minimalist. I got rid of my car. I feel so good. And then like as soon as she got rid of it, we were getting texts, Taylor and I all the time, like, hey, can you come pick me up? I'm like, okay, well, this is a tremendous burden on us now, but I'm glad that you're doing well. Great.
I love it. I'm saving so much money.
Glad you're living your best life.
I am.
Where's my
And
gas
then,
money?
I had a good shit moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I
Good
want to hear
shit
about
moments
this.
this week. So I just started at BetterHelp.com. I don't know if anybody has used this. It's a great therapy app. And so I talk to a therapist on the phone instead of showing up in person. They happen to be our sponsor, but that's not why I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
But if you're interested, BetterHelp.com/self-helpless. Anyway, so
Seamless.
this is like
Seamless.
this
Butter.
is like my fourth session. I love her. I think she's fantastic, and I really got into like all my food issues.
Okay.
I'm a bad binge eater, you guys. I like go hard. I used to have 3 to 4 bagels a day, and that was just like my snack in between real meals. So I've done a lot of work on myself. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but now I've gotten it down to like 2 bagels a week, if that. Like I'm doing pretty good.
Kelsey and I haven't seen a bagel since we were like 12. And
Didn't even know they're
Delaney's
still
just-
making them.
So I have some food, like compulsive issues with food, and definitely an addiction that I'm working on. And my therapist asked me a simple question and said, "Do you enjoy having that food identity, like that people know that you can eat a lot or whatever? Does
And
that
not gain any weight?
Does that make you feel good, like being around people?" And nobody's ever asked me that before from an an identity standpoint.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Holy shit." Yeah, like it makes me feel more comfortable around people. And then we went real deep and figured out why, basically. So I grew up with a very voluptuous family. Everybody's got big titties, asses, the whole shebang, lovely ladies. And I was always just like a celery stick, walking around, no curves. And hearing things like real women have curves and all those things when you're growing up, and like it was like I couldn't be part of their club. It was a really weird thing. And they would like say things joking at me like, "Oh, you skinny bitch," or like you're lucky bitch. And then I felt like I was just kind of an outsider. And so I think it's deep rooted in trying to like fit in even with my own family. Some of them have like eating issues and stuff like that, but it was me kind of trying to just like be part of the group. Obviously now I just like love food just in of itself, but I think that's a big root of it. And I just think for me in my head, I don't know, I guess it had always made me more likable to be able to eat a lot, to be like one of the guys, whatever it is. And I had no fucking clue that it was like ran that far deep.
That's part of your identity.
And then she said, "Well, do you want to eat healthy? Like, what's kind of holding you back?" And I'm like, "I feel like I don't want to be that girl at a party that's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm doing low carb right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that bitch."
I brought my own hummus. I need to wash my face with honey in the sink.
Exactly.
Fuck
I don't want to be Kelsey. No,
I did not like that. Whores. I am not even
No,
like that.
you're not like that. You did have raw almonds on the way here for dinner.
You
but
ate my almonds. You take avocados on planes.
that's true. That's good fat.
Don't listen. Don't trust even your friends. Trust
So
nobody.
yeah, don't want to be like these two people. No, but I realize that I feel like a burden or I feel uncool when
Yeah.
I'm picky about what I'm eating, even though it's good for my body and my
Yeah.
health and my
Right.
mental well-being. And so simple question, she asked, when people are eating healthy around you, do you feel like they're annoying or a burden or you feel negatively about them? And I said, no. I feel like they have discipline and they give a shit about their health.
Yeah.
And she's like, boom, that's what people think about you.
She said boom?
She was like, yeah, that's it. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit.
I
But
would
yeah,
love
she
it
was
if
like,
my therapist was like, boom.
boom, bitch. That's what she said.
job.
Quote, yeah. There you go.
I hadn't in like about what have we been friends now for 2 years?
Yeah.
I hadn't really seen your food stuff in action until last weekend when we were in Phoenix.
Oh, man.
And we went to a Mexican restaurant and there wasn't a table ready yet, so they were like, you can go sit at the bar, order an appetizer, and then we'll let you know when your table's ready. So we've been like waiting for this table. We're super excited. We ordered chips and guac, and they gave us like a lot of chips and guac. So maybe halfway through, I was like, okay, I don't want to have any more else. I'm not gonna be able to eat my meal.
Yeah.
They called our table. I go to our table. I look behind me. Delaney's not there. I can't. I'm like, where the fuck is she? Why isn't she coming to the table with me? I look over at the bar. It's like her last meal. She is taking the little crumbs of tortilla chips and scraping out every morsel of the guacamole and like licking her fingers. I was like, what is happening?
Dude, that was
Get
good
over here.
guacamole, though. Like, to be fair, that shit was delicious.
I know, but I just like,
Yeah.
that was the first time I was like, whoa, like almost like you couldn't let it go to waste.
That's
No.
at home
like
behavior.
you felt.
No man left behind when it comes to food for
Yeah,
me.
to
100%.
me, it was like you had given the food an identity. Like the food had feelings, and if you
Yeah.
left it, like that you were being mean to
I
the
gotta
food.
finish Rachel.
So much things. And I've
was-
also talked
yeah, I
about
don't know.
growing up with a mom who's dealt with weight issues and stuff. I told you as a kid, I would overeat or eat the last of anything so she couldn't eat it to help her not gain weight
Did
and
you
get
talk about
more
that with
unhealthy.
the
We talked
therapist?
about
Okay.
that too. They're like, she's like, yeah, there's a lot going on with the food stuff. So anyway, that was like a big aha moment that it's become
Yeah.
like a huge part of my identity that I can like I can out-eat any dude in this fucking bar.
Yeah.
You know, it just like, I don't know, it just made me feel like I fit in better.
Well, who doesn't
Wow.
want to be that like cool chick from whatever movie who's like, yeah, let's just get pizza and bang and then eat more pizza. You know, like everyone wants to be that, but you can't because you'll break out.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have food allergies. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never
From the
gonna be that.
pepperoni or sex, you'll never know.
There you
Because
go.
you did both in one night, right? And that was
Yes.
irresponsible.
Anyway, should we get into the meat?
Yeah, let's
get
get
into the
into
meat.
it.
Let's
Oh
get
my
into the meat.
goodness. I'm so excited. So again, round of applause. Who's familiar with imposter syndrome?
All
people.
right.
Nice.
Okay, cool. All right, so for anyone who didn't clap or doesn't know or is listening at home going, why are they talking to a crowd that we
Yes.
can't hear? Imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. So, yeah, that's, I mean, again, we're all comedians. We've talked about this extensively on past episodes and on different subjects. But, like, just feeling like no matter how many things you accomplish, how many people tell you you're doing a good job, how many people validate you, you are never going to be good enough or deserving to be in a powerful position in your field.
Right.
There are studies that, or there was a study, I should say. I shouldn't say studies. But it was identified in 1978 by psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes. And in their paper, they theorized that women were uniquely affected by imposter syndrome.
Of course we are. We got all the shit.
Yeah.
I
truly.
mean, later they were like, just kidding, it's everybody. But it makes sense that it's mostly women because, you know, it's
I
the
think
world
it's
we live
nurture.
in.
Yeah, I think it's kind of growing up feeling like, you know, I feel like we, in a lot of ways, have to work twice as hard to get the same amount of recognition.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with that in, you know, professional settings and stuff. And yeah, I just think it's kind of like the way that we're raised, like, you know, hey, sit quiet, be ladylike, let them have the attention or whatever it might be. Kind of, I don't know. That's how I feel. That may be why women are more affected.
Yeah.
Just us.
Well, you're just always apologizing. I feel like
Yes.
as women, you're like always apologizing for just being anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Even like when you get something, like Kelsey and I have talked about this, like headlining on the road as a comic is, you know, obviously if you don't know, it's when you do the whole weekend and you do an hour and there are someone opening for you and featuring for you. And when we go do that as, you know, young 20-something women, there's usually a 40-something dude featuring for us looking at us like, why are you doing longer than I am? And it's hard not to go, dude, I know. Do you want to just do it? Because I would rather you do it than feel uncomfortable. And you are the voice in my head all the time.
Right.
You know, because we just have this thing in us that can't own our own success and be like, no, I've earned this. I've been on this show or that show. I've done this amount of time on stage. Or with any job, really. Just I've interned, I worked my way up the ladder, I did this. There's just always a part of you that's going, this was a fluke. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have gotten this. They're gonna figure it out at some point.
It's
Yeah.
so much self-hatred.
Yes.
It's such a bummer. I think a lot of us, I know I have a big fear of like anybody ever perceiving me as like cocky or arrogant. And I'm neither of those things, but that's always like, God, what if I ever said something that came off that way and somebody thought that of me? So I feel like you keep yourself down and like kind of, you know, squash yourself so that you never ever have a possibility of looking like that.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're afraid of other people seeing you as a fake, and so you have to see yourself that way all the time to kind of head it off.
Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah.
the same way that you make fun of your looks as a comic or something because you don't want anyone else to think it before you. You're like, oh, we're
Yeah.
all in on the joke. We all know I don't deserve to be here. Like, it's
Right.
fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
the first feeling I get when anything good happens to me, and it could be anything, personal, professional, is like maybe a couple seconds of excitement and then immediate guilt and anxiety that I'm not good enough for this. I must be fooling them somehow. They must be wrong about me. You know, I don't deserve it, whatever it might be. Any career goal that I've hit or any kind of, you know, opportunity has always been like, there's so many people out there that deserve this over me. And
Yes.
which could be true, but I have to talk myself into stuff sometimes like, well, even if there are people that are better than you or funnier or, more suited for this thing, they picked you. You happen to be the person that was there or whatever that they liked. But I'm constantly having to talk myself into being okay with getting good things or, good things happening.
I think I had a weird version of imposter syndrome in my therapy this week. I go to like an actual in-person therapist as opposed to the app, which I do really want to try.
Which is an
the app
actual
still.
therapist. They just have an iPhone.
Yeah, I know.
Kelsey sees someone with a flip phone.
Yes.
And the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. And I told her, I've been seeing this woman for a couple years now, and I told her at the end of it that sometimes I get uncomfortable in therapy because I'm uncomfortable with talking the whole time. Because that's like the only relationship you have with somebody where you are supposed to take up the majority of the conversation. And to me, I feel like I'm being rude and self-centered. Like I feel like halfway through I should be like, so tell me what's going on with you. Tell me about your life, which you can't do in therapy. Like they're not supposed to talk to you about personal things. Yeah. And she's like, why do you feel that way? Like, where do you think that comes from? And I was like, well, number one, I just feel like it's impolite, like I'm hogging the conversation. And she's like, okay, well, that's like we've talked about, that's from your dad who like put a lot of pressure on you to be super polite. And I was like, whoa, yeah. And
boom.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's something that I'm gonna ever get comfortable with, but I feel like there's some kind of imposter stuff there where it's like I don't deserve to just have this space that like I'm paying for.
Yeah.
That's designed to be like this. It's like no, but she's still a person, and I should totally share this time with her and not like hog it.
Yeah.
Which is so fucked up. It's like, well, where does it end? This is therapy. This is where you're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because as a girl growing up, they're like you kind of are raised to take care of other people.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think a little bit more than guys are or were when we were younger. Times are a changing.
Dude, I get imposter syndrome just walking around my apartment sometimes, just like being like in my life.
Yes.
Just like looking around like, wow, this is like a really good day. I have a great relationship. I love my job. I love where I live. This is all going to come crashing down because I don't deserve any of this shit. Like this seems too good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm watching kind of my life happen instead of like being really present for it because I'm like, wow, somebody's going to find out that this is not for me. They're going to take it away. And it's a weird, like, out-of-body experience sometimes.
That's such a good point, because I do feel like I have experienced imposter syndrome in, like, all of my relationships, too. Especially the one I'm in now, because I'm very happy. And during, like, just any time. I mean, even this week I was feeling it, where I was just like, okay, why do I always feel like this is going to go away, or this is a trick or something, or this is a trap, or I'm just wrong, or there's got to be something wrong with this person that they like me this much. And then other times I'm like, I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to this dude. Like you get into that space. I looked up celebrities' imposter syndrome because I don't know about you guys, but if I suffer from something, I want to know the celebrities are dealing with it also.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have eczema? Megan Fox does. I don't know if that's true.
Probably not. I'm guessing no for Megan Fox.
She looks real smooth.
Looks perfect.
She looks perfect. But it would make me feel better if she did.
Yeah.
But I found this Time. It was on Time. You can look it up. And the first quote, it's quotes from celebrities who suffer from imposter syndrome. And Tina Fey had a really good one. She said, the beauty of the imposter syndrome is that you vacillate between extreme egomania and a complete feeling of, oh God, they're onto me, I'm a fraud. So
that's what you just said.
That's what I just said, because I read this quote right before we got here in the car.
So you
which
cheated.
is why I'm referencing it now. So you just try to ride the egomania when it comes and enjoy it, and then slide through the idea of fraud. And when I read this in the car on the way here, I'm very prepared. Everybody do this when you start a podcast. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I feel, because I've never heard anyone put it that way, where I was like, well, I don't feel worthless all the time. Sometimes I feel like I almost said worthful, and that's not a word.
I wish it is now. We're adding it to the list.
Whew, call me Shakespeare. But sometimes I just feel so high on like me. I'm like, I did it. but it's so
Smoked a
fleeting.
big bowl of Taylor.
So just and then it's so quick, and then it's gone, and I'm like, oh, you are a fake, and you better take that mask off. But yeah, those moments where you're feeling like, whoo, like that feels great, doesn't it? And it's probably just your personality getting sick of feeling like a fraud, and so it just like really bounces back at you. It's like, we're gonna feel great for 20 minutes, you dumb bitch.
Can you guys think of the moment that you felt like the biggest imposter in your own life? Can you think of that? Is there one that's kind of stands out?
Right now, I'm like, I don't deserve to be podcasting in this bar. Like, I haven't earned this, and maybe someday I will. But, just got to keep showing up every day, guys.
Maybe I've been feeling it a little bit when we moved into our new place recently.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty big one because like you wake up every day in it and you continue to feel it. We if you hadn't heard before on the podcast, for the last like 4 years, my fiance and I had been living in like a shithole with nothing, like not a good situation. But we were like, well, it's cheap, so we'll stay here. And we finally got to a place where like, you know what? The podcast is doing well. Like, let's upgrade. We can upgrade. And every day I've woken up and been like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve it. Like, even though financially we can afford it and it's fine, and it's not a fucking palace, but it's better. Like, it has a dishwasher.
Woo!
So like,
Splurging.
But even then, I'm like, I washed my dishes by hand for 4 years. Like, who the fuck am I? Who do I think I am that I can't keep just washing them by hand?
Yeah.
Like, I should just save money and not live in a place with a dishwasher.
I've been feeling that a lot about my new business. I have a gag gift business called Dicks by Delaney. I make penis portraits. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
Delaney's a treasure.
But,
The best thing is listening to Delaney describe this to people, by the way. We have had meetings with executives, and she has to go in and go, I run a specialty dishware company where I draw pictures.
I draw penises on mugs. That's what I do for a living. But
they're very cute. Look at Dicks
you.
by Delaney on Instagram. All the people on your phones, look at it right now.
So sweet. But I'm getting paid to make art. Technically, I mean, it's art, even though it's a dick.
It's art. Say it's art.
Yeah, it's a. People send pictures of their like loved ones or favorite person, and I make them into like a little penis character. Yeah. Anyway, this has gone
as
off
you
too
do
long.
when you love somebody.
So yeah. So when I send off a mug, I feel like who am I to get paid for my art? Like, I'm not a real artist. There are people creating beautiful murals somewhere who aren't getting paid a nickel for their time and their art.
Yeah.
And here I am painting a dick on a mug, and I'm paying my rent. Like, this is bull. Like, I don't feel worthy of it, even though I'm not like forcing people. Like, I'm not holding a gun to their head and say, buy my dicks. But like, they're just buying.
Have you thought about trying that?
Oh, man.
That'll be my marketing strategy. But they're buying them willingly. I should be happy that that's happening and happy to give them out. But part of me is like, I know people in my life who are incredible artists, way better than I will ever be. And they're not making money doing it. And so I feel like I compare myself a lot. And if you kind of get into that comparing, rhythm, I guess, that can also affect the whole imposter syndrome thing too. But then again, it's like they're not pursuing art for a career. Yeah. So it's not like I just did it. If they just did something, maybe that would lead, to them monetizing in that way too. But I can't help but feel really guilty and really unworthy that I'm getting to make something that I love for a living.
There's so much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was going to say there's so much imposter syndrome, I think, tied up with finances and people's relationship to money and how they see their worth in terms of dollars and like what that means and like how they live, what their lifestyle is, how they think they deserve to get money and have it. Yeah, I think there's so much with money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just to be clear, when I was nodding when you were saying, and other people are such like way better artists, I wasn't agreeing with you that other people are way better artists.
You should.
No, I was relating to what you were saying.
Stay in the lines, Delaney. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Yeah, I've also been feeling that way. I'm pretty good at drawing a dick, as it turns out. No, I was relating to that because like I was talking about earlier in terms of like my career and like headlining or, Kelsey and I both did the Tonight Show around the same time. And whenever you get those opportunities, you can think of a whole group of people who are pursuing the same thing actually. And a lot of like with comedy, there's so many people who are so good and are trying so hard. And it's just not, the industry is just not interested with any sort of entertainment. With podcasts too, you're going to look at people who have podcasts and go, my podcast is way better than that podcast. Why is that one, higher on the charts or whatever?
Yeah, because they're a Vine star.
Because they're a Vine star.
That'll always be the answer.
And you know what?
Them's the bricks.
They deserve those listeners because Vine's not even a thing anymore. And to be a star on Vine in this Vineless world is incredible.
Oh, 100%. Amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's truly like frustrating because you almost feel like you can never be happy because there's always going to be people less, like what you perceive to be less talented or less deserving than you, and there's always going to be people who are more talented and more deserving than you, and it's all super subjective.
Yeah.
And the industry does not care at all, and a lot of it is luck, and a lot of it is just really hard work all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of just learn to quiet those voices in your head that are telling you that you maybe you did luck into it, but that are telling you only lucked into it.
Yeah.
It has to be a combination. You have to go, yeah, you know what? I got lucky. I got this thing, and I'm going to rise to the occasion and be the most of it. And make the most of it so that I can feel good about where I'm at and the fact that I got this opportunity. Because if you squander opportunities, that's when you're really a fraud.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Taylor, where's this coming from?
Mic drop.
Applause break.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
That wasn't even a Tina Fey quote.
That was all inside you.
That came from... Oh, another one from this article. Meryl Streep was number 2. She said, you think, why would anyone want to see me again in a movie? And I don't know how to act anyway, so why am I doing this? If Meryl Streep feels that
Holy
way...
shit.
Oh, Lord.
What hope is there for the rest of us?
Wow,
I
that
ask you.
is...
I have a good little quote. I think I shared it once on the podcast before. I remember reading, this was like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, Cosmopolitan interviewed Amy Schumer, and she talked about that for a long time when she would like audition for something or try and get booked on a show, and she wouldn't get it. She would be like, yeah, why me? Like why would I get that? But then something happened with her where her mindset just totally switched, and she's like, you know what? Why not me? Like, why the fuck wouldn't I get it? Like, I'm talented. I'm ready for this. And she said that she felt like, I think she said that more things started to happen for her because it was just like that energy and feeling like, you know what? No, I do want this.
Yeah.
Because I still feel, I know there's a lot of times where I audition and I walk away and I just, maybe it's trying to protect myself from maybe being told no, but I'm like, I'm not even like right for this role. So if I don't hear from them, whatever. But deep down, I think if I could embrace that and be like, you know what, I am right for this role. They wouldn't have asked me to audition if I wasn't. So
Yeah, no, any kind of stand-up credit I've ever gotten, I have never felt like I deserved it. Because I never whole-assed stand-up. I never went full-time. I never wanted to go in that far. And then I would get stuff and think, oh my God, this other person is sleeping on somebody's floor, devoting every minute of their life to this. Like, I should not have this at all. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's been a big one with stand-up for me, is just never feeling like I actually fit into that world because I never really committed to it.
Yeah. So interesting.
I want to talk about this other thing that I found, which I thought was really interesting. So there's an article that I found. You can look it up. It's on Fast Company. It's called The 5 Types of Impostor Syndrome and How to Beat Them. There are 5 types. Can you believe that? 5.
I mean, we have all 5, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. So number 1 is the perfectionist.
Hey-o.
Yep.
That's all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Let's not. I mean, how many people are perfectionists? Would you say?
Oh,
Okay.
look at
Most
that.
of
Oh,
the
look,
room.
everyone in the podcast class. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Most people just start a podcast. Did you know that? You guys are taking a goddamn class.
Oh, my God.
Because you're like, I got to know exactly how to buy a mic.
Oh, my God.
You gotta
I would
get
do the
best
same thing.
mic.
This is amazing.
Oh man.
So that's, for this type, success is rarely satisfying because they believe they could have done even better.
Oh God.
Lord.
Oh my God. But
Yeah.
that's neither productive or healthy. Owning and celebrating achievements is essential if you want to avoid burnout, find contentment, and cultivate self-confidence. Yeah, so this is great. Learn to take your mistakes in stride, viewing them as a natural part of your process.
I just don't, like, I logically know that, but I think like a golem like lives inside me that's just like, no, like, you must suffer. Like, you must hate yourself to be better. Like, that's truly how I feel.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Like, if you want to be better, why celebrate what you did? You should pick it apart so that you can figure out what you did wrong and then improve that. You can't just be like, oh, I guess I did good, so I'll go take a nap. Like,
Right.
And you know why? Because all the documentaries they make about like famous people who made a big difference were all like, they're like, they really hated themselves. And you're like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
You never see a documentary where they're like, yeah, I mean, Bob Dylan was just like real happy to be alive. All the time. He just woke up every morning like, where's my guitar?
Right.
There's a God.
Yeah, it's the glorifying the starving artist. There's
Yeah.
like this weird like like kind of glory from it, or I don't know.
it's kind of cool to hate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like socially, you want to be around that person more than the guy that's like, I'm a fucking gem. You're like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
Gary. No one likes you.
Right.
Like, you don't want to be around somebody that's like real happy about themselves. It's more fun to like complain with other people.
Yeah. I want to be around people who are self-assured in a very just quiet, measured way.
Quiet confidence.
Yes,
Yeah.
which I think you have.
Me?
A lot.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just like
I
just
think
sitting
Kelsey
here.
and I
or-
run. I think Kelsey and I run more hot and cold,
Yeah.
where we're like, we nailed it, or we're like, oh, what happened? And for
Guess
you,
I gotta quit.
Yeah. And for you, Delaney, I just feel like you're always kind of like, yeah, no, this is me.
Like I'm okay.
I'm pretty good.
Do I like walk like I have a big dick or something? Like, do
Yeah.
Like
That
I walk
big
in the
dick
room like
stride.
She's fine. You know,
Yeah.
like she's all right. I take that as a compliment. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
A lot
wouldn't have-
going on the inside,
I've seen
but
you
I
beat
feel
yourself
like
up before, though.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you're more quiet about it. We are like, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
sure.
walking birds.
We're open wounds.
Yeah.
And then number 2, the second type was the superwoman /man. Since people who experience this phenomenon are convinced they're phonies among real deal colleagues, they often push themselves to work harder and harder to measure up.
Oh man.
Ooh,
Oh,
this
that's a
is-
fucking.
This is like a workaholic thing.
Yeah.
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 I
Yeah.
felt that one.
Imposter workaholics.
Oh shit.
You're actually
could be me.
addicted to the
That's you.
validation that comes from working.
Ooh.
Ooh, that hurts.
Gross. That hurt real bad.
Oof, right
I felt
in the
that in my
chest.
lady parts. Real deep.
A little tingle in the bottom lips, huh?
That is so
Oh shit.
The bottom lips. That's gross.
Whatever.
The third type, it was great. It was genius. But the third type is the natural genius. People who struggle with this, who are also natural geniuses, judge success based on their abilities as opposed to their efforts. In other words, if they have to work hard at something, they assume they must be bad at it. Ooh, I've had friends like this where they're just naturally really good at like school or music.
Yeah.
And then when they're not good at something, they're like, oh, I just don't do that thing anymore.
Oh,
That's not a thing I do.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So they never like
Yeah.
branch out and like
Yeah.
build up to something.
Yeah, or if you're like, oh, I took Spanish for a semester and I suck and I can't roll my R's. It's like, well, I guess I just don't speak Spanish.
Oh.
We kind of talked about that with like playing Jeopardy, that if it's like, like a history category, we're like, well, I guess I'll just leave this party because I can't.
I will never
play
know
this.
that answer. I will never know history or geography. I'm a fucking moron. I'll be honest. Like I shouldn't be involved in any kind of political conversation.
Right,
like
right.
I just slowly back away. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, I just would rather like not know any, like I don't even want to be involved with it
Yeah.
because I can't get even into it a little bit. So just count me out.
Right.
Like just forever I won't know.
You've probably picked up some good stuff from watching Jeopardy like a fucking ancient lady. Like, right? Like,
Yeah,
you probably
who's
picked up-
old?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Your Jeopardy on YouTube.
Fucking love Jeopardy.
Did your granddaughter show you that link?
Get off my dick.
Number 4 is the rugged individualist. Ooh, that sounds like a movie starring Matthew McConaughey.
It does.
These sufferers feel as though asking for help reveals their phoniness. Ooh. It's okay to be independent, but not to the extent that you refuse assistance so that you can prove your worth. Yikes.
Shit.
You have to do everything by yourself.
Shit. This is
This
a tough episode
this
for
is
me to be
intense.
doing live in front of people.
I don't know how
feel
you
like
guys,
I need some
yeah.
me time after
I know.
this.
I don't know how you guys feel about this. We're getting a lot out of it. Number 5 is the expert. People who fall into this may feel like they somehow tricked their employer into hiring them. They deeply fear being exposed as inexperienced or unknowledgeable. Yeah. Do you shudder when someone says you're an expert? That's a question to ask yourself. Yeah, I think that's all of us.
Wow.
That's like the most basic type, I feel like.
Okay, is that all 5?
That's all 5.
Which one do you guys identify with the most out of those?
Perfectionist.
The perfectionist and
Yeah.
the expert, I think.
I do the work one. What was the work? Overworking?
The addicted to the
I think that was the
workaholic.
number 2.
What was that called?
The workaholic.
I need to research this.
Superwoman? Is that what it was?
Superwoman.
Yes.
Dude, I do that all the time. I will put in extra effort to sometimes unnecessary tasks just to feel like I'm pulling my weight or like I'm worthy. Even in like my day jobs and stuff, and if I'm like, oh, I have to leave, for a couple hours to like make this meeting, I would come back to work and just like stay late just to finish things or just like to be there because I didn't feel like I could just leave early for the day.
Yeah.
Like you didn't deserve it.
Yeah, overcompensating. Like, why can't I just take a fucking half day?
Yeah.
Like, people do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nobody was even there to watch me
Wow,
overcompensate.
just for you.
It was a mental thing.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
Gross.
This is
Real bummer to find that out.
This is a real bummer. Holy crap.
Do we want to open it up to questions?
Yeah, I mean,
Questions
Do
about
you guys have
anything.
any questions for us about podcasting or self-help or